All right. Good evening, everyone. It's here for enumerate. So, you have a kwanya way na yamaye na yeho akwaba yada nyamia CBM for another week, another opportunity. You signed your friends. You seek a some no at the brand. You didn't say no. We had a good weekend. No nyamia dumti. Yeah, the weekend was good. No, and yɛpɛ sɛ yɛsan ɛtoa so I've said the previous about 2-3 weeks no na yɛsua biribi ɛfa debt management focusing mainly no on your credit cards and basically no waba kurom ha foforɔ what do you do, how do you build your credit yeah nti before we summarize some of the things na yaka ho asɛm in the past no yɛbɛfa saa akwanya wei na yama Dr. Ewua Akwaba for enyumere nso no nti dog yɛbɛma wo akwanya na wama yɛtiefoɔ no so no Akwaba na yɛde all right yɛda nyame ase biem for enyumere nso dwumadeɛ nti the last week na yɛhyia no we talked about certain things to do with our credit. What do we do? I'm new in the country. I said, me can be building my credit. One of the things we are mentioning here, in fact, is worth repeating again. You know, and it's one time when I work Ghana, no, it's pretty much like the cash system where BBBI you will be no being it. If I want to buy a house, if I want to have a car, everything, I need to work for it and get a man in it to be able to buy some of these things, you know. And now you transition about another community more, and that's another country. You buy, you know, things are different. Without having a good credit, you know, there is so much you're unable to do. One, me pese me kotofie, I don't have good credit. How do I buy it? Two, ebi ampesa me kotoka, I don't have the credits and how do I buy? Even to the point, and it's me pesa me go school. I need student loan because I cannot afford to pay everything cash. But me call and yes, me need credit. Into no, I'm unable to get a loan. A bit to me, I'm a school. And we also mentioned some of the things and fans are not having a good credit, no, the impact it make it on us. Into Yabama, Dr. Ewua, now from last week, you know, a little bit of a recap, especially the impact of, say, I don't have a good credit. What are some of the impact it makes on our living conditions na your woman no. So share with us na your tea for last week no manya kwan ama no at least no almost when you recap on it.
Sure. So last week, as you mentioned, we discussed about the importance of credit. And I think a lot of times, we underestimate how vitally important credit is. Credit dictates so many things that we do in this country, right? It dictates what kind of loans we're able to get, what kind of interest rates we're able to get on those loans, the terms and conditions of those loans, right? The length of time we can get those loans for, right? It dictates even you trying to get a job. These days, they'll start doing credit check just to check as part of your background check, because if you are not able to manage good credit, to them, it appears that you are not somebody that's, responsible, right? So why would they want to hire you if you're not responsible, right?
Mm-hmm.
As far as you mentioned, even trying to get a college loan, trying to get school loan, right? If your credit is not good, oftentimes, number one, you may not be able to get it, or number two, if you do get it, the terms are not going to be very good, right? It dictates, what kind of house you can buy, right?
Mm-hmm.
For example, or how much house you can afford, right? Because if your credit is not good, they're going to charge you very high interest rate. And the higher your rates are, the less likely you're able to purchase a certain amount of house, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go buy a car, if your credit is not good, what kind of rates and conditions are you going to get? Are you going to get high or low interest rate? you're going to get charged a higher interest rate because why? You are not credit worthy. And the higher your rate is, the more you're going to pay whoever is the lender of that loan. So, I mean, credit impacts us in so many, many ways. But if we can learn to understand credit and we can use credit to our benefit, it can make a world of difference for us and our families. We can be able to help build our children's credit, right? By us having good credit. So credit is so important. And I think once you understand some of the basics and actually apply that information, you're going to be able to really do well when it comes to your credit. And, you know, when you have good credit, it opens up a lot of doors for you, you know, that you don't even think of. But when you do have good credit, opportunities tend to come your way as well. So, you know, that's what I want to, you know, bring to the table.
Yeah, thank you so much, Doug, for your friends stressing on that point. You know, sir, you're here for Sefina will join a pesa your first akonya way na ma wakwa bapa to na ye dwumadi no ye da wase debiara da no unya adaje na oni ye sa dwumadi we no na ehia ye kese pa ye because the system na ye team wo ekrom ha say no, it's rather unfortunate to say most of us, you know, we live from paycheck to paycheck. So because we live from paycheck to paycheck, you know, your previous studies in your account was how you bet your budget. And once you say you bet those budgets, you know, it helps to manage our finances, you know. But right now, so who said we're living in a country we cannot buy bibia on cash. Buy everything, be in here, be no using cash. You need to do it. It's impossible to do that. So every now and then we will depend on that credit, card, for the various things. And in fact, one of the things that last week I can't want some Dr. Wabo Bonnie so far the impact in Yahweh. So, and most of us we don't even realize a good credit impacts even your insurance. Your car insurance, your homeowners insurance, any the various insurance as individuals, any family, a good credit, any impact, I was my way home. And if it does, then what can I do as an individual and now say, as a family, need to be able to build a unity. Last week, what are some of the things we can do to build it? Now, Dr. West shared with us a very vital I think, sir, it's about using the authorized user your furnace and system. And Dr. Wame says, now, me as a parent, I have a good credit. Yamiadum, me ba asha siye, or building a credit. So I'm torn between, sir, just store card and mano, or no secured credit card and mano. But one of the things that you in is, as a parent, I can have my kid on my card, as an authorized user. An authorized user, so the question is, what about if I give my child a card? Now on the spend, then what are the implications? But you who say I can give an authorized user an access to my account without even providing them with a card. You see, the only year said they are benefiting from me good credit history now. Your friend is a me one. Nti enne yepese yetoa so. Nti ntoa so no yepese yehu se now no nyame adom matumi anya credit kakra. Mitumi twitwa me ho. Nti what are some of the things that I can do to build that credit, Because having the credit, is one thing. Building and improving on that credit, so another thing. And that's what most of us we fail to do. So but how do I build it? Nti yawo nyoma kakra yepese yebeboso yawo some 5 factors yepese yebeboso na ebi ohwa say in some of these areas if you are not working on it at least it will be like an eye opener to you ubetumi abua nti number 1 yes payment history nti Dr. Ward, how can my payment history affect my credit score or help to improve my credit?
So think about it, right? If you look at, they call it credit profile or credit mixture, right? And if you are trying to get a good credit score, there are steps to follow, right? You have to understand the top, what's involved in that, credit score, right? The FICO score, right, is that score that you get, and it goes from 300 to what, 850, right? Now the question is, how do I get, why am I at 300, or why is somebody at 850, right? There are certain guidelines you must follow, right? One of the most critical things is the payment history. That is why it is the most highly, I guess, weighted component of the credit score, right? Because why? Lenders want to know how reliable you are when it comes to paying people back, right? If your payment history, it's not good, it's going to affect your credit significantly. Why? Because it makes up 35% of your credit. That's major, right? So one of the best things you can do to improve your payment history is to automate your payments, right? For example, if you go and you get a credit card, and let's say you put, let's say, $1,000 on a credit card, and your minimum payment is, let's say, $50 per month, right? And they say the payment is due on the 30th of each month. You go into that system and you put automatic payments, meaning that every single month the payment is going to come out on the same day without you having to go in there and do it yourself. Because why? As human beings, we get so busy, you're going to forget, right? And when you forget and it goes a few days without you paying, it now negatively reports on your credit. And when that happens, it brings your credit score lower. And sometimes even just one bad, report, or one bad, late payment been going on your credit can drop you down maybe 30, 40, 50 points sometimes, right? So when you automate your payments, you avoid having to forget and having a bad remark on your credit. So one of the biggest ways to be able to attack that area is to have automatic payments every single month. Make sure there's money in your account and you have the account linked to the whoever that you owe the money to, and every month have your account debited whatever the minimum payment is. And obviously, you don't want to get in the habit of just paying minimum payments, right? You want to make sure you pay a little bit more, but for the minimum payment, just have it come out automatically, and then you can go in there manually, and you can add extra payment to be able to pay off your debt faster.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Doug. And Obi baby said the question, and it's okay. So my payment history, I quite me fast, regardless, if I'm late or not, I'm still paying it. So what effect does it make? Sometimes I tell people, say, put yourself in a situation, and they say, "Wo obi abebo obosia." Na time drew nipa ne share said the 15th in the medicine scan beba. Na the 15th one farmer. The 16th one farmer, the 17th one farmer. So think about it and say another time this same person in Bebasa or Bebobosiano, would you feel confident? Say, say, lend it a secret to that person. Chances are no, you don't want to. It's the same way, Into acquire a faso on a monthly basis, it tells the other lenders and they say, you know what, Dr. Y is trustworthy. This person is trustworthy. Sika man no time no a bois, and he makes that payment in 10 years. So abusian for 80 no say bibi wo ho a here a build your credit year, your payment history. A kwanya your first to tua aka no a very necessary pass a better year. The second one is how much do I owe? How much you owe? For example, I have a credit card of $5,000 limit, and I must spend it all the way up to like 4,800. My max out. Doc, if I do that now, does that help to build my credit, or it has like a negative impact on my credit?
So, how much credit you owe or how much credit you use, as you can see, is the second biggest factor that impacts your credit score, right? Because now, first, the lenders want to know how reliable are you to make your payments on time when they ask you to make your payments on a particular date. Number two is how much of the credit they give you, how much of it do you use, right? And they monitor it because why? If you use the majority of that credit, it signals to the lender that you are high risk. Because it shows them, oh, why is this person using so much of this credit? Are they not making enough money? Are they relying on their credit, their whole, for their day to day? You appear very risky to a lender when you use the majority of your credit, right? Ideally, you want to use around 30% of your credit at any given time point. Now, even at 30%, that's like a general number. You want to go below that, right? If you look at people who have like top credit, they're 750, 800, 850. They use less than 10%. They use less than 10% of the available credit. Because why? They can continue to get more and more lending. Because why? The lenders see, look at number one, they are very on time with their payments, and number two, what I've given them, they don't even use that much of it. Right. So although you ideally you want to have 30% or lower, you want to have elite credit, you want to go 10% or lower of your credit balance. So for example, if you have a credit card that has $1,000 limit, at any point you don't want to go over $300. Now, if you get in a tight spot and you happen to go over $300, you want to make sure that within a few days you pay it back down to that 30% or lower. Right. So, I mean, that's a very, 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 very important point. How much of your available credit do you use? Extremely important. Right now, right, you might have two credit cards. One of them is $1,000. The other one is $2,000. Now your available credit is $3,000. So you can use 30% between the two of them, right? But you want to make sure that per one card, you do not maximize more than 30%. So it's good to kind of like spread it around, right? So that you always keep your available balance low on whatever credit card that you have. And people that max out their credit cards, trust and believe, you are not going to get another credit card when you go to apply, because that's going to show on your credit report that you're maxed out. So why would another lender take a chance and give you another credit card?
Right.
The only lender that will give you a chance to get another credit card is somebody that know that, hey, I can be able to charge high interest on this person. But even then, if you cannot pay off your other credit card that's maxed out, how are you going to pay them on a new credit card, right? So it makes you appear very risky to lenders. So when you do that, they don't want to lend you credit.
Yeah, no, very good point, Japan. Just what they about up, and a very, very good point, Japan, because one of the things that you mentioned, I mean, a lot of people know, is anytime you max out, you are high risk.
Sure.
And if you remember, so your previous studies say, you can establish credit card is not something it's used for like an emergency. Say, oh, I another source of income for me.
Yes.
All the time I'm using it. No, that's not the intent of what a credit card is for. In fact, Dr. Waka, Penny Isaac and Soka said, anytime me call you my credit card, no, my men try making sure sometimes I have the funds available.
Yes.
Because of like rewards, be also cash rewards in your bench. I'm using it for the purchase. Once I'm done, I turn around and pay it off.
Yes.
But anytime be max out to be to the lenders, and it's like say, this guy, something is going on. And we need to be careful in terms of our yabemano. So what credit card, no one max out, but more than say you pay it down. Now, at least, like Dr. Wack said, there be no ma what usage, any 30% or less. In fact, preferably no less than 10% to crown better.
Yeah.
But at least more cap is 30% of your available limits, helps to improve your credit. Another factor, your credit history. Also, one of the things we mentioned, some of us, what we do is we open up this credit card today. You off within maybe like a year, and we close it. Once we close it, history ya established for that whole year, is gone. But anytime a lender wants to lend you money, they want to know your credit history. They want to know how long this credit card, will hold on to that credit card for. Anywhere from, if I say, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, not using it, paying it back, using it, paying it back, it shows to them, say, you are a responsible person.
Yes.
And because of that, they can trust you with more. But you use it, you're done, you close it, you open a new one there. Those neomano, sometimes it doesn't help to build our credit, but rather negatively, it affects our credit. Dog, ebi on the credit history, how long say a year, and most of us now you close a card here, you apply here, you close to say what are the impacts so.
Yeah. So credit history, right? As you can see, it goes from the top all the way to the bottom, right? In each category, they give you the percentage of worth or weight that it holds when it comes to how they determine your credit, right? Now, credit history, right, shows you how long you have had credit. And the longer your credit history, the better it is. Because why? You appear more safer to a lender if you have credit for a very long time. For example, if myself and brother Sim go to get a loan and he has 2-year credit history and I have 0, who do you think the bank will give a loan to first? Brother Sim. Because why? He has history and he has demonstrated that he can accept and take on credit and make his payments. And the longer your credit history, the better and the more reliable or the more trustworthy the banks deem you to be. So credit history is very, very important. So if you have a low credit history, it's very difficult for you to get an 850 credit score. Because why? It's 10% of the entire credit. So if you have no credit history or low credit history, it takes time for you to be able to build up onto that point. So definitely. And what helps you to be able to build your credit history is, for example, let's say you have 3, 4, 5 credit cards, right? A lot of people, the mistake they make is that, this credit card right now, this and that, let me go cancel it. Now, if you go cancel it and you close it, let's just say you had it for 6 years. When you close it, you have now lost the entire 6 year of credit history, right? So ideally, right, most people, if you don't really care about credit, which I don't know why, but if you have this urgent impulse to go purchase and you feel like you need to cut up your credit card, then great. You could cut it up, but you don't have to close it. Right? Because that history is going to help you. Imagine you have 5, 6 years, 10, 15, 20. You have 20 years of history. It's easier for you to go get new credit when you have established credit, right? So to me, like I said, any credit card that you have, even if you're no longer using it, keep the credit. You could cut it up, but let the credit history, don't close it. Let it stay so that you can continue to build and grow your credit history, which makes up a pretty good percentage of your entire and total credit.
All right. Thank you so much, Doug. Thank you. Thank you for that great information. And moving on, we are also looking at like new credit.
Sure.
Sometimes people think, so, I can go there and apply for new credit anytime I want, and it doesn't have like any impact on my credit. So, Doug, does new credit or the increase on our credit, does it affect our credit score?
Oh, definitely. And here's the thing, right? the longer credit history that you have, right, the less impact new credit has on you, right? And here's the thing: most people don't realize when you go car shopping, right? Because they want to get you credit to go buy the car so badly, they will shop your credit amongst maybe 10, 15 different banks, and all of them will pull your credit. So you walk out of there with like 15 credit pulls or increase on your credit. That can damage your credit significantly, right? So anytime you apply for credit, it's not a bad thing, but you have to be very mindful how you apply. If you apply for credit every few days or every month, you appear to be very credit thirsty, right? And when you're credit thirsty or you appear credit thirsty, lenders don't want to lend you because they want to know why you keep applying for credit. They think you're trying to run off with the money or you're trying to run off with the credit, right? It gives a very bad, impression when you continue to apply for new credit over and over and over, right? Ideally, every 3 to 6 months, you can apply for new credit if you like, right? And there's also a very important trick that a lot of people don't know, right? And if you understand, it can help you to be able to manage and play the credit game. Because think about it. They have 3 credit bureaus: TransUnion, Equifax, and so TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. These are the 3 credit bureaus, right? Don't forget, there's some credit when you go apply for, all 3 bureaus will pull your credit. But there's some credit cards you apply for, only one of them will pull that credit, right? Or there's some credit where only 2 of them will pull credit. So guess what? If you want to limit your increase, let's just say you have 10 increase on your Experian, and you want to limit the increase, guess what? You can go apply for credit cards that only pull TransUnion or Equifax, right? So it helps you to be able to manage and limit the increase on your credit. And Experian, of the three bureaus, Experian is the one that's often utilized by lenders to make credit decisions. Right. So you want to try and limit as much as possible how much you inquire for new credit. If you don't need it, you don't have to go and get it, right? But sometimes, right, when you don't need credit, it may be the best time to apply for new credit, because when something happens, you already have it, because it's harder to get new credit when you are in trouble financially, right? Yeah. So while your credit is good, it may be the time to take advantage and be very smart in how you apply for new credit, applying some different techniques to be able to keep or minimize the increase on any one particular bureau.
Yeah, thank you so much, Doug. I say, we're hitting your money now right on the point, and I just say, and I always tell people, and say, like you rightly mentioned about the dealership and the idea, oh, say, they get percentages be from this lenders, banks and the idea,
Yes.
So, anytime they have finance card through them,
yes.
They get a percentage of say,
Yes.
And see, like Dr. Wakan, or pull away into this system anymore, then it shops around for like the best rate for you.
Yep.
So I always tell people, sir, before you go to the dealership, make sure, sir, this is the car you want.
Yes.
And this is the car you want to buy.
Yes.
Once you make a decision, if possible, Krana, don't use Omono Finance and you can go to either your credit union, your bank, and adhere and apply the loan over there, knowing that only one pool pen happen, because you don't need at your credit union or your bank.
Right.
Now we are then until you go dealership, you tell them, say, hey, I already have my financing. And a better bargaining power over However, and so if you choose to say, because sometimes the dealership and so on, you all these incentives if you go through them. But before you do that, like I said, make sure that this is the car you want.
That's right.
And you are buying from this dealership. And yes, we will move from Nissan, no Toyota, no alcohol, so
yeah.
Yes, and if they do that now, why already say be a person utofie I feel why do you have so much increase on here? because it's a red flag to them. Say they think say loan, why could all these loans?
Yeah.
So it put you at that risk. And for say if you are in the habit of doing that, yes, you say some of this information, yes, no, ube to me, I used to some of it, no, not why apply to one because your daily, you know.
Yeah.
Inti, I'm sorry, Dr. Wabu boss. So some of the percentage you can't, you know, how much the credit score is calculated now. On say your credit history now is about 15% of it. No, how much we owe, no, which is pretty much I'd say our debt to the income ratio, no,
Yeah.
covers about 30% of it.
Payment
Look
history.
at it. Payment history.
35%.
35%. On a new increase, and so yes, about 10%. And now the credit types now I want to know is about 10%. Into all this mixture, no, and a kabom amount your credit into if your payment history is not good, which I know that carried like the highest percentage of a year, definitely no, it will drop your credit, you know, history.
Yeah.
Yeah, you best stress, you best share Sanyo a year. So when you have also, how do I improve my credit? You know, who about paying our bills on time, keeping our balances low, no, and apply for and open new credit only when needed. So we cannot overemphasize this idea where you know it's only when you think say idea way me here I need to go to school, I need a student loan, I need to apply for that loan. My car break it down, definitely I need a new car. So since I can't afford to pay with cash, you know, I need to do that. But don't just apply for new credit as because you want to. Say I habit any ABR no now person who apply mama yanhwe ne ye. Enti dog, one of the things yɛpɛ right now no nyame adom, I've been able to establish my credit. I'm following all these you know strategies in now to be able to help me. But me as an individual, no, what can I do to monitor my credit? Me who any fraudulent activities, Nioma basa be things that I didn't do, no, appear on my credit. No, what can I do to monitor my credit?
Yeah. So, the key thing, right, is the best way to monitor your credit, right? They have these different apps, you know, Credit Karma, they have the Experian app, they have Equifax, they have different ways or different apps you can use to track and monitor your credit. Sometimes they're not always accurate, right? What you need to know is what is on your credit report, right? And you need to, so once per year, you're able to get a free, I think it's a website like free annual credit report .com or .gov, where you can go and get a free report from all three bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, right? Once you get all those reports from each bureau, remember, these are three separate bureaus. So they're going to report, they're not always going to report the same things. Sometimes they might report something on Experian, but it may not be on Equifax or TransUnion, right? And you may want to know exactly what it is. And maybe Experian was the only bureau that pulled your credit for that particular item. So when you have all the different reports from the different bureaus, now you sit down, you analyze it, and you do a fine, and you really look at it very, very tightly and figure out everything that's on that report. Are you the one that applied for it? You're gonna know if you did or not, right? And you notice anything that you yourself, for sure, without a doubt, didn't apply for, then you can begin to try to fight it, right? You can, write a letter to the bureaus. You can go on the bureau website and try to submit a claim, what have you, right? The website is actually annualcreditreport.com, right? You can go there and get a free report. You should definitely take advantage of that to at least know what's on your credit. Most people, unfortunately, have never even taken a look at their credit. They don't even know what their credit scores are or how to even get their credit scores, right? Or their credit report. You want to know that every single year, you want to check that credit report and make sure that there are no fraudulent activities on your credit. Because I'm telling you, it can affect you and make. I've seen times when people have been scammed and somebody have used their Social Security to file for taxes, right? And they're sitting there waiting to file, and they file IRS and, hey, you already filed already, and they didn't do it. They already filed and took your money already, right? So you want to really, really be mindful, right? Monitor. They have like credit monitoring services where you can pay a certain amount of money per month, where you can have experts monitoring your credit. So I mean, there are different ways that you can proactively make sure your credit is in good health, and that you feel good and you feel comfortable with your credit and about your credit and what's contained on your credit or in your credit report.
Yeah, thank you so much, Doc. And what kind of the website in here, www.annualcreditreport.com.
Yeah.
This is a federal website.
Yes.
The government set yama obia so obia no. You can get your 3 credit reports, free once your friend is from all these sources, once a year.
Yeah.
Personally, no. What I do is every quarter, I use one of them.
Yeah.
Every quarter, I go no pull away. The next quarter, I use the TransUnion. That the following quarter, no my experience. Now, no, a be what police are your money hinan? Why a proactive? What police are your money hinan? But I dare not buy and no printing hinan. And trust me, these are pages and pages. It's not only one page.
Yeah.
Depending on how long what's in Chrome and some of the things you have done, you can go up to maybe like 60 pages. The last time I printed mine was 90 pages. Into a dozen.
Yeah.
But the question is, my apprentice annual way now, what am I looking for? You don't even know what you're looking for, and you don't even know, sir, idea way, okay, this is what I need to look for near idea. One of the things you can do, sir, you can even take this to either your credit union or to the bank and our bank. These are some of the services they provide over there. You can sit down with some of the bankers, and they'll be able to help you go through. Now, we'll check this on your money. When he said, say to me, proactive now. I've seen so many cases. Say, can say examples and examples of Nipa Omudin credit card. They didn't even know. But pulling the credit, they were able to identify, say, no, I didn't do this. And sometimes it's not even just the financial data. No. It has like different sessions. It has the public side of it. And so I just say, your name could be misspelled. Your date of birth could be wrong. Your employer on your credit could be wrong. Anytime you see Sanyoma way now, it's a chance for you to go ahead and update Sanyoma now to have a clean record. It's something for it is necessary, sir. Obiano, ube take the proactive action. No one monitor or credit, because it's part of your life. Chrome habaya out there, saying out there, it's so it's something I say share and you say what makes a good score. Most commonly used credit score is provided by Fair Isaac
Corporation.
Who just to I'm said Dr. Wa a boss so kakra near per se who say okay, say I can't credit score on credit. What is the range? On say be or see my credit score at 400. Is it good or bad? But the answer is the range, it starts from 300 all the way up to 850. I had to say, Wako school, now your friend is exam say, and you say 1 to 10. Now when you're 1, now will be some say, did I do well? That's the same analogy na about where here. Dog, if you can help to break it down a little bit for us now, at least here for who why ya ye na no ye jina some what 300 what does it mean? Me what in between what does it mean? If I have 815, so what does it mean?
Yeah, I mean, those scores are what lenders, banks, car, mortgages, those scores, those those three number scores are what lenders use to make credit decisions. Whether we are going to lend you money or lend you a loan or not is going to be dependent on those scores. And it's amazing how they impact our lives, right? Imagine if your score, if the range is 300 to 850 and your score is 390 or 400, how can you expect any lender to give you any loan? Even at 600, they may not even want, most lenders will not even lend to you, right? Mm-hmm. So if you go and try to buy a mortgage, they'll tell you, hey, the lowest credit score you can have is, let's say, 625 or 630. If you have below that, even if you have 1 point below that, they may not even consider you, right? And the lower your score, even if they do decide to give you the loan, the lower your score, the higher interest rate they're going to charge you. So, for example, if you're going to try to buy a $300,000 house and your credit score is 400, they may not even give you that loan to go buy. Mm-hmm. If it's 600, they may not even give it to you. If it's 650, but you know what? Okay, maybe we'll give it to you, but instead of the average of, let's say, 4%, we'll charge you 6%. Mm-hmm. Just because you are risky to us, although we want to lend you the money, you appear risky. So to cover our risk, we're going to charge you higher interest. Thereby, your first few payments will get most of that in interest to be able to cover our loan, right? And a 2% or even 1% difference in interest rate can make all the difference in the world. It can either qualify you for the loan or it can disqualify you for the loan. Right now, during COVID, when people were buying houses like crazy, why do you think that was the case? It was because the interest rates were so low, and people that had good credit could go in there. Somebody who cannot afford a $500,000 house at 4%, at 2%, they can afford it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right, and it's all because of the credit score and what dictates what interest rate you're going to go. Now, think about it. If you walk into a bank and your credit score is 700 and above, or 750 and above, or 800. What can you not get from that bank? Right? They actually want to give you things. Like every single blessed day, I get emails. I get mail of American Express, this bank of, they want to give me credit. Why? Because my credit score is very good. I'm in the 800s, right? And you feel so good when you're moving around, because you know that, hey, whatever I want to get credit wise, I can get it, because why? My credit is very, very strong and I'm very, very credit worthy. I pay my bills on time. I make sure I don't miss my payments. I make sure I don't use too much credit. I make sure that I build credit history. I make sure I have a nice mixture of credit, credit card, mortgage, car. I have a nice credit profile. All those things are very appealing to the bank or lenders. When I walk in there, they want to chase me with money. Mm-hmm. All because of these three numbers. Yeah. Right? So it's very, very important that we take this stuff very, very seriously. Because I'm telling you, if your credit is good, you can really enjoy this country. Yeah. Right? And sometimes, right, they have credit cards that have an $80,000 limit. They have credit cards that have a $120,000 limit. Now, think about it. If your credit score is 300 or even 500 or even 600, what bank wants to give you a credit limit of 80,000? But guess what? If your credit is 850, you have a nice credit profile and you make pretty decent money, what bank wouldn't want to give you that? Because why? They know that you're responsible, and they can also make a little bit of interest from you before, depending on how you're spending it. Some credit cards are zero interest for 12 months. Those credit cards are given a lot of times to people who are credit worthy. Right? Some credit cards are zero interest payment for 18 months. Now imagine you have 18 months of zero interest credit. That is literally almost is free money in a way, if you think about it. Because you have 18 months to pay for it. You could use it over and over and over interest free. What more? Where can you go and get money with no interest? Right? And it's all depend. The better your credit gets, the higher your credit gets, the more of these opportunities open up to you. And the worse your credit is, you wouldn't even see them.
Yeah.
Why? They don't only want to come near you. Right? So
yeah, thank you so much, Doc. Yeah, this information is deep, and you're here for Yadamwase and Yama Finawa joining so Yama Akwaba. And like Dr. Walker I say, sometimes you see on TV, so you advertise 0%, you buy this car 0%,
yeah,
or whatever, ultimate Dimirika call, and you'll be qualify for.
that's right.
It's out there, 0%, great. But then you'll be qualify for.
Yeah.
Once you go, that's our credit ain't stronger. You don't qualify for that 0%, Or your fancy, even house, if you can make the credit card it's not like the best, It's even though the interest rate low. Obi anim say low, but me call that low rate, It's all because of how me see and manage your friend is saying my credit. One of the things so dog and no, it's about your friend is a bankruptcy.
Sure.
Most people know. I think so. So one of the great myths about bankruptcy is that it can be that it erases bad your financial credit history. Say a lot of us, your bear chrome has said the good advice from the beginning. So you sue credit anyhow, and your credit say, and we thought to say the only way out for us, is to file for bankruptcy. So we did that. But the myth now there is that we think once I apply for bankruptcy in the it erases everything. Now I have a clean slate.
It makes it even worse.
Yeah, just help us in a few ways.
So, if you file for bankruptcy, that is one of the worst things you can do for your credit. Maybe financially, it may be advantageous for you to file and get some relief as far as your finances is concerned or your payments are concerned. But when it comes to your credit, bankruptcy is going to steal your credit for a very, very long time, at least 7-8 years. Why? Because think about it. All those lenders that you took your money and you didn't want to pay, you filed for bankruptcy. Do you think they want to just forgive you like that? They want to punish you. So they're going to keep it on that credit. Say, hey, this person didn't pay. And because it's on your credit, you wouldn't even dare to go try to borrow money from anywhere else. So now for 7-8 years, you're just sitting there. You can't do nothing. Everything you're doing, you're buying cash or debit card. As far as credit-wise, you're pretty much done for a long period of time, right? So bankruptcy is not something that you should take lightly, right? Yes, it could be advantageous and beneficial because it helps you to reduce some burden of your payments, but it can literally destroy your credit. And I know people who have gone through bankruptcy, who are going through now, and their credits are in the dumps. Why? Because it is a huge thing. Because you are literally declaring that, hey, I know I owe debt, but Charlie, I can pay this thing. I'm stressed out. I just want to just get rid of this thing, right? So now it makes other lenders very scared to lend to you. So until you're able to go all them years and eventually have a fall off your credit, as long as it's on your credit, it's going to affect you significantly. And no, when you file for bankruptcy, it does not erase your credit history. It makes it even deeply worse. Yeah. So be very, very careful about that, right? That's why it's so important that you learn how to understand and use credit, because credit could be your friend or it could be your biggest enemy. If you know how to use it, it can be a very good friend. And if see, everything in this life, no matter what it is, it requires discipline and understanding. If you understand anything or credit, whatever it is, and you are disciplined, you can use it to your advantage. If you're not disciplined and you don't understand it. That's 2 double whammies. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah.
All right, Doug. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's been a great program, and you know. Yet here for Yadamwase and you so say Munyada Je na money yes argument. In fact, we ended notes on bankruptcy. Nyami Aduma next week. You be going deeper, like Doctor said. No, bankruptcy like different bankruptcy. You were chapter 11, chapter 7, chapter 13. This annual money na no. Yebenya daje na yako. Each of them, inside, if you are thinking about say be or file bankruptcy, now well, the impact enya, but to end it, per se, bankruptcy does not erase bad credit.
That's right.
It makes it worse. Worse to say, it take a while, even 10 years to cross on a freeway is into no. Anytime be person or bob they look at it, it's a red flag, and they're thinking, do I really want to trust Dr. Ewa with even $500? Second thought, no. Into there are effects into Nyame next week. Yabetua. So Yadamwase dog, Nyame Enshra for your time.
No problem.
Until next week, Nyame Enkai now.
All right. God bless everyone. Take care.
All right.